I want to start this video off with a full game spoiler warning. If you have not completed Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, I suggest that you come back to this video after you have done so. In this video, I'll be covering the current strategy for the free Glitchless category of He of the Metal Face. If you want more background on this guide series, I'll have a link in the description to the first video of the series where I'll talk more about the structure of this series. I'll also have other useful links for mechanics and other general information in the description, as well as a link to a pastebin with a written version of the build and strategy that I'll be covering in this video. With that out of the way, let's get into the build. The party that we're going to be running for this TA is going to be Reyn, Shulk, Dunban. For the gear on Reyn, we're going to be running the Machina Guarda 2 with weapon power, physical defense down, and back attack plus, as well as 2 strength up gems, haste from the glory gauntlets, initial tension, and quick step. The gear on Reyn is primarily focused on damage, with physical defense down and weapon power used so that we can relatively consistently get off physical defense down. You can in theory swap out the weapon power for something like attack plus, but the damage increase is going to be relatively minimal since Reyn's strength is going to be boosted by both Berserker and Peerless, meaning that you're only going to get a small amount of boost from the attack plus in comparison to all of the other buffs that Reyn's going to be having. By comparison, weapon power does pretty greatly increase your chance of actually getting physical defense down off from Reyn, so this is my preferred gem choice for that. For Shulk, we're going to be running the Monado 3 with weapon power, physical defense down, and back attack plus, as well as 2 strength up gems, haste from the glory gauntlets, and quick step. You don't need initial tension for Shulk because his critical hit rate is already 100%, so the extra boost from being in high tension to his critical hit rate doesn't matter. Shulk's gear is pretty similar to Reyn's for similar reasons. We want to have him doing as much damage as possible as well as inflicting physical defense down. Back attack plus is used on Shulk because we're going to want to have Reyn have the aggro for wave 1, which means that we can take advantage of getting the free additives from back attack plus. For gear on Dunban, we're going to be running the Machina Blade 3 with weapon power, physical defense down, and back attack plus, as well as 2 strength up gems, haste, initial tension, and quick step. The reasoning for the gear on Dunban is the exact same reason as for Shulk and Reyn, so I don't really feel like I need to go over it. For arts on Reyn, we're going to be running Berserker, Lariat, Bone Upper, Dive Sabat, Magnum Charge, and Sword Drive. Dive Sabat can be switched out for Shield Bash, and this would be faster, but Shield Bash is significantly weaker than Dive Sabat, and Dive Sabat is only a 5 frame longer animation, so about 0.16 to 0.17 seconds on average. Because of this, and the fact that Dive Sabat is significantly more likely to kill Wave 1 than Shield Bash is, I personally prefer using Dive Sabat for this time tag. I did want to make mention of the fact that Shield Bash can be used though, since it is technically the optimal strat to use it. For Shulk's art, we're just running Air Slash and Backslash. The arts on Shulk aren't super important, you pretty much just want to have Backslash and then one of either Stream Edge or Air Slash. I'm running Air Slash here, but Stream Edge is just as fine. And for arts on Dunban, we're going to be running Peerless, Gale Slash, Worldly Slash, and Steel Strike. For Dunban, this set of arts on this time attack will make him use Peerless at the start of battle, and having both Gale Slash and Worldly Slash makes it so he's pretty likely to use Gale Slash into Worldly Slash after using Peerless, which is a pretty good way to have him get off some pretty good damage. For skills, as usual, we're going to be focusing primarily on Quick Step and Strength, though I'm also running some other skills to reduce weight and boost defenses because the enemies are relatively close to us in level this time. Of other mention is that I'm running skills to boost haste as well as overwhelming on Reyn since we want him to be drawing more aggro. Also worth mentioning is that Shulk is the only character running Adventure Time from Riki. Every other character is running double strength skills from Riki. This is basically just because, again, the enemies are pretty high level, so we want to have all our characters doing as much damage as possible. I'll go ahead and finish scrolling through my skills here, and you can copy the skills if you want. With all that out of the way though, let's get into the video review section of this video. In this section of the video, we'll be talking through my current PB as of the time of recording this video. So at the start of the time attack, we're going to want to run up to Mumkar and use Berserker with Reyn and focus our allies to attack, or focus their attacks on Mumkar. Whenever you do this, you're also going to want to make sure you run close enough so that Reyn will be seen by Mumkar, as this will help Reyn hold the aggro once we start actually attacking him. So as you can see, I run up and I use Berserker, and you can tell by his HP bar actually appearing above his head instead of the vision that, or the eyeball, that he actually did see us, as well as his laugh indicates that. So what we're going to want to do here is that we're going to want to run up and a little bit around the side of him so that we're still within range of to get the boost from Dunban's Peerless, but we're also going to want to start moving around to the back of him. You're going to want to make sure you get 2 auto attacks off with Orion before you're fully on the opposite side of him. Then you're going to want to use Lariat, Bow and Upper, and then Dive Sabat. We'll go and watch that now. So I start auto attacking. Once I have 2 auto attacks off and I have the Peerless buff from Dunban, I move all the way to the far side of him. Then I use Lariat, Bone Upper, and Dive Sabat. Shulk and Dunban will go ahead and attack him some, and if you get everything that you need, this will kill the first wave. For wave 2, you're just going to want to target onto Mumkar, use Magnum Charge, focus your allies onto Mumkar, and then run behind him and use Sword Drive. You are going to want to get a single auto attack off with Reyn, since we do want to get, you need to have at least 2 physical defense downs on him before you use Sword Drive in order to consistently kill him from behind. It is worth mentioning that you don't technically have to get the auto attack off with Reyn if you want to bank on both Dunban and Shulk getting their auto attacks off. I just personally prefer to play it safe and get the auto attack off with Reyn because it's not too much slower to do so, just simply because we have to walk behind him anyways. It's also worth mentioning that you want to make sure you approach him in a way that Shulk will be seen by Mumkar first, so that Shulk has the aggro instead of Reyn. That was a lot of talking right there, so let's go ahead and go through this, and I'll kind of talk through it again as it's happening. So I use Magnum Charge at the start, focus my allies to attack him. So you can see Shulk's running in a little bit ahead of me, so he draws the aggro first. We run behind him and get off the auto attack. We do get both physical defense downs off. Then I'm able to use Sword Drive and just kill Mumkar in one shot. So that's about all there is to talk about with this. I'll go ahead and let this play out as I go through the outro. But I do hope that you found this video interesting, and if you want to run this time attack yourself, you found this useful. As always, if you have any questions or comments about this guide or anything I can help you with, feel free to ask me down in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next video. See ya.